Australia has rung in 2026 with a mix of hope, defiance and unanswered questions. Across the country last night, Australians gathered to welcome a new year. Fireworks lit the sky, families and friends came together. Communities stood shoulder to shoulder. But this was not a carefree celebration. It was one of resilience. We are just weeks after the Bondi attack, and with a visible police presence overnight, reminding us that the country is still grappling with shock, grief and fear. Australians showed up anyway. The Harbour Bridge was lit white to commemorate victims of the massacre, and a menorah projected onto the pylons to remember the 15 people who were killed during the terrorist attack.
I think when you have a look at the end of 2025, we're all been, saddened with the tragedy that happened there at Bondi. But I think it's really important that as a community and as a society, we continue to show that we are resilient, we are strong, and we're going to continue to support one another. This was about a showing of the community being there for one another during what has been a very difficult time.
And showing up in droves tells you something about this country. We don't retreat, we don't hide, but we do expect answers. Calls for a Commonwealth Royal Commission into the terror attack are not fading. They are growing louder. Australia's Human Rights Commissioner, Lorraine Finlay, has thrown her weight behind one, saying the Richardson Review will examine our national security framework, but understanding the deeper causes of violence is critical. The Bondi terrorist attack was driven by anti-Semitism. Confronting that directly must be a national priority. A federal royal commission is essential to fully understand what happened and ensure it never happens again. Yet the Prime Minister continues to refuse to listen. Here he was today when asked whether Ms Finlay would face any repercussions for her comments.
No, people are entitled to their opinion. What we have is a four-part plan. The first is, of course, to deal with the perpetrators. One of those is dead, the other has been charged and needs to go through the legal system. The second issue is the New South Wales Royal Commission. The third is the Richardson Review. And the fourth, of course, is Gillian Siegel's report, the envoy on anti-Semitism. We have done a range of measures already as a result of that work.
Meanwhile, it's been revealed that the Australian National Imams Council has attempted to prevent Israel's President Isaac Herzog from visiting the site of the Bondi terror attack. President Herzog was asked by Australia to stand with Jewish Australians and honour the victims. Now, that should not be controversial. At a moment like this, efforts to block that show of solidarity deserves to be called out. And the Prime Minister should use this moment to be clear, to stand with the Jewish community and condemn the Imams Council's intervention. The question is whether he will do so. Writing in today's Sydney Morning Herald, Anthony Albanese acknowledged the scale of the threat posed by terror and extremism, saying the horrific attack on Australia's Jewish community at Bondi Beach is terrible proof that our nation is not immune from the evils of terrorism and extremism. Our task is to confront and defeat the threat of anti-Semitism together as Australians. To meet this test of our national character by holding true to the best of our national character. It is welcome to hear the Prime Minister use words like terrorism and extremism, but words, they're not enough. Prime Minister, this moment calls for serious action, and that requires more than the Richardson Review alone. That review can and should proceed, but it must work alongside a Commonwealth Royal Commission, not instead of one.